When the heroic stalker was confirmed to only proc on body shots, I, like many of you, was confused and bummed out, and subsequently wrote the weapon off as a 300 Dorito paperweight. Suffice to say, I was very, very wrong. Build is at the timestamp on screen if that's all you care about. Testing and the math behind the scenes are up first if you actually want to know the why behind how this thing is kind of a monster. All right, and we're busting out Notepad for the first time in a video in a long time. So going into this, I had two baseline assumptions. First, shots to incapacitate are more important than shots to kill, because things like armor regen and sustain and iframes are important. And two, the builds that I'm using on the tactical and the sniper would actually have to be builds that I would take into an absolute. No cheesing the results by stacking all the ridiculous bullshit. So with that in mind, you can see on screen what we're looking at here. As a general rule, I'm going to contrast the headshot variant of the Stalker bolt, that's the Aphelion Liberation Alpha, with the new Deathwatch Heroic. And again, as a general rule, you're trading one more bullet to get to in-cap and a slightly lower base DPS to get that 4-body shot proc that's really going to get you the most tangible benefit when you're fighting things like bosses or spamming into hordes. Because let's be realistic, you're not hitting headshots 100% of the time. So starting things off with a sniper out of stealth, which you'd almost never be using it this way, you're looking at a difference of 222 DPS for 4 hits with the headshot variant versus 214 DPS and 5 hits with the heroic. Where things get spicy with a sniper are when you're firing from stealth, assuming that you're running the perk that gives you the plus 75% more bonus damage on your first shot from stealth. That drops the headshot variant to a 2-tap from stealth and an average DPS of 282 DPS. The heroic is currently bugged. It benefits from the same interaction with the perk as the bolt carbine, where if you spam the trigger, you can actually get all of your shots to benefit from that plus 75%, not just your first one, producing a 3-hit from stealth and 299 DPS. This was spiking as high as 334 in my testing, but this was the most consistent number I was getting. On the tactical, much the same. 4 shots from normal versus 5 shots from normal for the headshot versus heroic. You add auspex into the mix, you're 2-tapping or 3-tapping with the headshot or the heroic. And by the way, all of these tests are done versus the Tyrannid Warrior with the Devourer, because you are always one enraged shotgunner away from death. Now, to illustrate just how minuscule this difference actually is in practice, I've taken some footage of firing against that warrior with the Devourer and aligned them frame by frame to just before, 1 frame before the muzzle flash, so that we know that we're getting exactly the same start. And you can see just how small the difference is in time to in-cap with the headshot variant versus the heroic. I've done it for the tactical normal, the tactical with auspex, the sniper normal, and the sniper with stealth. So enjoy, have a look at that. After we run through those, then we'll talk about the build. Okay, so for the rifle itself, it's pretty bog standard. You're just going to go along the bottom tree, all the way up to Great Might, which increases your damage by 10% against terminus enemies. I'm not going to read all of these. Y'all have eyes and can read. The only 2 exceptions here are you're going to dip up for Headhunter and Headhunter for 20% more headshot damage. There you go. Simple as. Now, for the builds on the tactical and the sniper. Right now, Kraken Penetrator rounds is bugged with plasma weapons, so you might as well take it and enjoy that with the heroic plasma pistol. You do get some benefit with the Stalker, so hey, win-win. Pickup versatility, again, just to make the heroic plasma silly. Emperor's Vengeance will absolutely solve all your ammo economy problems. Aligned aim for extra 15% damage. Your standard auspex picks, and then radiating impact. As for the sniper, first 3 up here, block break for penetrating block stances, extra ammo, iron grip. I like taking squad renewal here. Yes, I know this is not the most meta pick. If you've been around the channel at all, you know that I'm a fan of building group utility into my builds instead of making your personal performance as cracked as possible, and giving my other two teammates 10% ability regen every time they headshot something like a gaunt, that's worth it to me instead of the other two options. Then you've got your standard purification, targeted shot, lingering concealment, pattern of excellence. Pretty simple, y'all. It's really good. Enjoy.